I like to use the medium of stories and analogy to bring about a difference in the lives of people. Why does one person want a big house? Whenever your mind wanders into the past, all you will experience is lot of sorrow, lot of anger, lot of disappointment. Good morning friends. My name is Dr. Sridhar Bodul. I am a consulting homeopath and a psychologist. But along with that, I am also a storyteller. I like to use the medium of stories and analogies to bring about a difference in the lives of people. In the same manner, today I am going to share a few stories which can bring about a massive positive transformation in your life. But before I begin my talk, let us try to understand. I will ask you one simple question. Why do we do the things which we usually do? Why does one person want a big house? Why does one person want to have a big car? Why does someone want to marry a fair lady? What is the reason behind that? What does one actually want? Is it appreciation? Is it respect? Is it identity? What is the thing which one desires? The most important thing is that we do all these things for one single purpose, that is happiness. Yes, that's the prime reason. It is for happiness that we are doing all these things. So today I am going to share few stories which will help us understand how to bring true happiness in our life. Let us start. My first story is about 3 houses. There was a man who was on his deathbed and he had written a will for his children. So he had 3 houses. The houses were named as A, B and C. So he gifted the 3 houses to each one of his sons. Now what happened after his death, the sons moved to those houses. Interestingly, the person who was staying in A house was always seen to be disappointed. He was always sad. He was always angry. He was always quarreling with his family members. And there was no peace. In house C, what was happening was the person was always worried. He was always fearful, he was apprehensive and he was not at all happy. Surprisingly, in house number B, what was happening was the person was at peace. He was satisfied, he was very happy. The other 2 brothers were surprised. What was going wrong? Why was the person in B so happy and so satisfied, and why couldn't they enjoy the happiness in their houses? They visited this person and they asked him, "Brother, tell us what's the secret behind your happiness?" And then the brother disclosed to them the secret. He said that the 3 houses which are there are not anywhere outside. These are in our mind, and each house represents something. House A represents the past, House B represents the present, and House C represents the future. So, whenever your mind wanders into the past, all you will experience is lot of sorrow, lot of anger, lot of disappointment, lot of guilt, and all such negative feelings. Suppose if your mind is wandering in House C, then what you will experience is, you will experience anxieties, you will experience worries, you will experience fears. This is because future is very uncertain. The secret, my friends, is that whatever is past is actually history. Whatever is the future is mystery. But today is a gift, and that is why we call it present. So moral of the story is that whenever you are sad in life, whenever you are down, whenever you are disappointed, ask yourself, in which house are you sitting? Is it the past? Is it the future? Or is it the present? And if it is present, then trust me, you can never be sad. Coming to the next story. The next story is power of focus. Now, there was a person in a village who wanted to learn martial arts. He thought that I will become an expert in martial arts and I will act in movies. I will be the next Bruce Lee. So he went to the mountain top to the best teacher available and he asked him, "Sir, I want to learn martial arts. Can you teach me?" The teacher said, yes, I will teach you. The student said, sir, in how much time I can learn martial arts? The teacher said, it will take 10 years for you to master martial arts. Now the student got disappointed. He said, sir, 10 years is a long time. Sir, is it possible that there is some way by which I can learn this faster? Sir, can I devote 4 to 5 hours of my day to this practice and can I do it faster? At this, the martial arts expert told him, if you are ready to devote 4 to 5 hours of your day to learn this, then it will take you 20 years to learn. Now, the student was confused. He said, if I am spending more time, then why am I taking more time to learn? He asked again, sir, if I leave everything and just come here and learn from you, how much time it will take to learn? The master said, it will take 30 years. Now the student was very confused. He said, this is not done, master. If I am dedicating my entire time to learning this art, why can't I learn this art faster? This is because the master told him, where is your focus, my child? Where is your focus? Your focus is on becoming a martial arts expert. So when you are learning martial arts, if your focus is on becoming a martial arts expert, then your attention gets divided. Your prime focus is on becoming a martial arts expert, and that is why you will take double or triple the time to learn martial arts. If you genuinely want to learn martial arts, your entire focus should be in the present. Your entire focus should be on the work which you are doing. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has also mentioned this thing that you focus on your work, do not worry about the results, because the results are not in our hands. So if you can do your work like worship, then trust me, you will be a much happier and successful person. Coming to my third story. The third story is the power of acceptance and the power of gratitude. There was a king and he had a minister. Now the minister had a very interesting habit. Whatever happened, the minister used to say, thank God this happened. He used to say, thank God this happened. Now what happened was, the king went on a war, the king won that war and he came back with lot of riches. The minister said, thank God this happened. The king was happy. When the king was distributing gifts and dresses amongst the people, the minister said, thank God this happened. The king was very happy, everyone around was happy. One day, while practicing his sword skills, the king hurt his finger. His thumb got cut off. When he told this thing to the minister told him, thank God this happened. Now the king got very angry. He said, what rubbish is this? My finger is cut and you are saying something good has happened? So he says, guards, take this guy, put him behind bars. After 4 days, hang him. I don't want to see his face. Then the king decided that let us go for some hunting. The king took some few soldiers and he went for hunting. Now when he was going, his soldiers somehow they were left behind and the king got lost in the jungle. And the king was caught by a group of Adivasi people. Now Adivasi people are the forest people who are staying in forest, and these were a group of cannibals. What they were doing was, they took the king and they said that today we will sacrifice you for the sake of our mother, the goddess whom we pray. So they took the king, they washed him, and when they were about to sacrifice him, at that time they saw that his finger was cut. And because his finger was cut, they said that we cannot sacrifice you. You are not a pure person. So they let him go. Now the king came back to the palace. The first thing he did was, he asked his guards to remove the minister from the jail and he called the minister. He hugged him and he told him, now I got the meaning, thank God why this happened. Today because of this cut finger, I got saved from death. But later on he asked the minister, tell me one thing, I put you in the jail, so what good happened to you? So he said, sir, if you would have not put me in jail, at this point I would have accompanied you. And if I would have accompanied you and your finger was cut, who would be the next person who would be sacrificed? And the king started laughing. So moral of the story is that always be thankful for the things which are happening to you. You might not realize why a thing is happening to you. Suppose someone meets with an accident, suppose someone has a fracture, suppose you have some disappointment, suppose some girl leaves you, suppose there is a divorce. Whatever is the case, you might not understand the significance at that moment, but one thing is sure, this definitely has something good in store for you. So always remember the power of acceptance and the power of gratitude. The next story which we are talking about is the power of faith. Now, there was a Brahmin in a village and he was very much devoted to his God. Every morning he would get up early, he would go to the temple and he would pray to the Lord. Now what actually happened was, one day when he came out, his padukas or the slippers which he wears, those were missing. The Brahmin got frustrated. He was totally disappointed. He was like, where are my padukas? Where are my shoes? He started getting angry on his family members, on his wife, on his child, and he got very disappointed. He started walking towards the temple. In his mind, he was constantly thinking, why me? How can a thief steal the shoes of a Brahmin? If a Brahmin is not safe in a country, then who is safe? And he started having these negative thoughts. When he went to the temple and when he started praying, he had the same thoughts which were going on in his mind. Now the head priest saw this thing happening. What the head priest told him was, what's the problem? Why are you so much frustrated? Now this guy told him, my shoes, my slippers are missing. Someone stole them and I am totally frustrated because of this. So the head priest asked him, do you believe the God to whom you are praying? He said, yes, of course. Lord Vishnu is my deity. I pray to him, I bow to him, and I really believe in him. So the head priest said, what if Lord Vishnu comes at your doorstep and he says, I want your patugas or I want your slippers? What would you do? At that time, the Brahmin said, I would give my life for my Lord. What are these slippers? I would say, take it. The head priest told him, it was Vishnu who had come and who had taken your slippers. Now the Brahmin calmed down a bit. So the head priest told him, when you have faith in any power, may it be your seniors, may it be your gods, may it be your parents, you should have a faith of 100%. Wherever there is worry, wherever there is fear, there is no faith. And if there is faith, then there is no fear and there is no worry. So, the final thing I would like to tell is the law of alignment. What actually happens is that all of us have an habit. We think something else, we have something else in the heart, and we say something else, because of which the goal which we want to achieve in life, we cannot achieve it. What we need to do is, we need to bring about a strong alignment in our lives. Whatever we think, whatever we have in the heart, whatever we talk and whatever we do, all these things should be in an alignment. If you could achieve that alignment, then things will start flowing in your life in a much faster and aggressive manner. And finally, the last thing I would like to tell you is that many people do many things to find out the way to happiness. But my friends, the true way to happiness is that happiness itself is the way. There is no actual way or cure to go towards happiness, but happiness itself is the way. Once you can tap that happiness which is present within, it can make a massive difference and transformation in your lives. With this, I would like to end my talk. Thank you. Dhanyavad.